Resident doctors, as we must now call them, junior being a term good enough for barristers but far too demeaning and not quite American enough for these lifesavers, have voted to go on strike for 5 days this month. This will cause as many as 200,000 appointments to be cancelled, meaning cancer diagnoses delayed, longer waiting lists and agony prolonged for thousands of patients. Be in no doubt that lives will be lost as a direct or indirect result of this industrial action from the British Medical Association. But that is the logic of strikes. They are only as effective as the harm they cause, and in this case it is the sick and the dying who are being held to ransom. And what is their justification? The doctors claim that their pay has been cut since 2008 and are demanding a further 29% increase on top of the 22% they received last year as restoration. That is an absurd figure for a number of reasons. First, it is unaffordable. Britain is broke, yet even within current fiscal constraints, resident doctors are well paid. They can expect to start on a salary of around £38,800 and command an average of around £54,000, plus huge pension contributions and rapid pay progression. And on top of this, they've just had the most generous pay rises in the entire public sector. If you're watching this and you work for a company, you'll understand that pay rises in the private sector are awarded based on performance, demand, and resources within the company. There is no centrally determined level of pay to which any worker is entitled, unless, of course, you're a socialist, as the deputy chair of the BMA proudly proclaims herself to be. And for his part, the new chair of the BMA has said the politician he most admires is the Corbynite Dawn Butler. But even if you accept the pay restoration argument, the BMA's numbers just do not add up. They have used the RPI measure of inflation rather than the much more common CPI. Adjusting for CPI, their pay has indeed fallen since 2008, but only by 4.7%, not the 29% they claim. They've chosen 2008 as their benchmark because, being the year of the global financial crash, it was the end of the generous public spending of the Blair-Brown era. If you measure from 2015 instead, resident doctors have had a 7.9% real terms pay rise. The BMA has chosen an arbitrary year and a distorted index to come up with the highest possible figure with which to blackmail the government. But this should not come as any surprise to people who see them for what they really are, a militant trade union that has centred the government's weakness. Rudyard Kipling wrote, "It is always a temptation for a rich and lazy nation to puff and look important and to say, though we know we should defeat you, we have not the time to meet you. We will therefore pay you cash to go away." But the doctors have proved that there is no amount of money that can appease them. And though Britain may be lazy, it is no longer rich. Health Secretary Wes Streeting is absolutely right to say that the public will not forgive strike action. And those doctors who did not vote for the strike, that is the majority of the BMA's members, those are the patriotic doctors who put their patients first, should not forgive their union either.